The views and opinions expressed on any program are those of the producers and/or the persons appearing on the program and do not necessarily reflect the views and opinions of FRC Media, Bristol Community College, or the City of Fall River.
Afternoon.
Hello. Good afternoon.
Welcome to
How
another installment of Table Talk.
So how you doing?
Good, good. How about yourself, Carlos?
Okay. That's one of the things that this virus is
The survivors?
the virus that people get affected with this virus. They out of dangers for after the first 2 weeks, but it's a lot of side effects that stays around for a long time. I've been having a lot of headaches, and I think this is because of the virus. But I just hope that with time that goes back to normal. But Denise, you remember Denise?
Yeah.
From the studio. She got the virus too. Matter of fact, the father passed away because he got infected with the virus, and she had the virus too. She survived the virus, but then she's back in the hospital again because her walking got affected. So she's having a hard time walking.
Yeah. How old is she?
Denise must be 30 maybe.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's hard to know. Some people in their 30s, then you have people in their 70s and 80s that it's not even a big deal for them sometimes. So you just never know. I guess it's how it interacts with your body, you know.
Yeah, I believe so. And one thing that we don't have enough information still is about that plasma. I don't know if you remember the last week we were talking about that. The virus is the vaccine for 9 months. People are rushing for the vaccine, and the vaccine is pretty much just to I guess to prevent people from getting affected. It's like other vaccines. My wife just got the last week. My wife got the second dose of the shingles.
Oh wow. Yeah.
And she got sick. She gets sick when she gets that. That's why she gets that like on a Friday.
Yeah.
Because she knows Saturday and Sunday she's going to be sick.
Yeah.
She has fevers. She has, shiverings. She has headaches. So and I think this vaccine gets people are getting the same side effects.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. Who knows? I guess we're going to find out. You know, it looks like some of the healthcare workers are going to be guinea pigs, I guess, to see how this comes out. But yeah, well, I guess we'll see over time, right?
So you think the White House leaders should take this vaccine or not?
Well, I did hear people talking about that with the president today. Personally, I don't think the president should take it because he just had corona. So there's really no use in him taking it because he just had the virus. It's kind of, anybody that just had it over a month or two ago, why give them the vaccine? To me, if anything, it's not helpful, and you're wasting that on someone that could take it. You know what I mean? So
the rest of the staff, what do you think?
I think they planning on doing it, to be honest with you, from what I heard today. I think they're
Yeah.
planning on taking it, some folks. But again, Carlos, we're in such a political world. So what would happen is if everybody in the White House got it, but then some nursing home didn't get it, what would you hear on the news? Oh, the Trump administration, all their people took the virus and they're not even high risk. However, this nursing home, look, there are people really sick here. So you can't win. You know what I mean? Let's face it, you can't win, right? You can't win.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Um, and did you heard about the bring it a little bit local? The chief of staff Jen Andrade's.
yeah, no, I did hear that. I was actually kind of surprised, to be honest with you. And it was funny because on the way back home today, they were talking on the radio, thinking, are they going to actually be able? Is Jasiel going to actually get a fair trial? And my thing is, it's up in federal court in Boston. People don't pay a lot of attention to things in this area, so I think it's going to be easy. I mean, if it was here in Fall River, it'd be different. But I mean, if it's held up in Boston, I don't think it'd be an issue. But yeah, I was really kind of surprised, to be honest with you. But then when you read what happened, the judge is taken into consideration, but they're talking about time served, which I don't know if she's been under house arrest or what, but she would get no jail time. So
Um, yeah, I mean, what I heard, because I didn't saw, I just heard people talking about. I think the judge said that he didn't had so the result. I don't think he gave the result. What he gave was the options that he has
yeah,
to judge her, and so the fines can go from $10,000 to $250,000.
yeah, I think I read that. Yeah,
Yeah, and she's going to have 1 year probation,
yep.
but she still can serve from 1 to 5 years,
Oh, I
even
didn't
with
read
the
that.
plea guilty.
Oh, okay.
With the plea guilty, and I don't think that the judge already give her the sentence.
No, I think that's going to be in April. I thought I read. So
Yes.
it's kind of interesting because when the people that are bringing the prosecution, which was the U.S. government, when the U.S. government is saying, "Look, this lady has pled out. This is what we want to give her," and then for a judge later on to say, "No, I need to look at this and I make the decision," I kind of thought that was always strange. That's been happening a lot lately, where in the back time, if somebody dropped the case or they were like, this is what we've agreed on, the judge would go with it because they didn't want to try these cases. So I find that weird because they did that with General Flynn, who lives down, he's a local general from down in Middletown, Rhode Island. And, the
Mm-hmm.
Department of Justice dropped the charges and the judge was like, no. And my thing is,
Mm-hmm.
if the people that are bringing this against to court and they drop the case, the judge needs to drop it right there. So I was
Mm-hmm.
kind of surprised with the Jen thing, but maybe that's the new FBI or Department of Justice rule. I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, like I said, I people had an opportunity to join the meeting by Zoom.
Yeah, I was looking for it.
I didn't know,
Yeah,
and yeah, I didn't know, and to tell you the truth, I don't think that I want to see it.
yeah,
Because guess what? That Jen that was tough, that Jen that was, threatening people, that Jen that was, what happened to that Jen? Now, according to the people saying is, well, she was very, very down. She was crying. I mean, I would probably be crying if I'm on her shoes, But people say you don't want to serve time, don't do the crime. So that's what it is. And to tell you the truth, personally, I didn't have good experiences with her.
yeah,
She was not nice to me. She was not nice to a lot of people that I know. as long as she could get the goal that she want, and as long as people can be afraid of her, so that's why whatever bad comes to people, even if people that I don't like, whatever bad comes to people is not going to do any good to me.
Yeah.
I feel bad for her. She had a lot of the power. That's sometimes what causes a lot of people just to become different, is the power.
Yeah. No,
But that power comes and goes.
Yeah. Oh yeah. No, I agree. No, I mean, any of these folks, when all this stuff was going on, they thought they were above all this. So, I mean, hey, I don't wish anybody any ill will, but I'm not going to cry about any of this, because you know what? You knew what you were doing and you did it. And, some folks thought that we can just get away with this. Like, nobody's going to hold us accountable. And lo and behold, it finally happened. So, hey,
Well,
you make your
but
bed, you lie in it.
for the years, and you've been around as long as me, or maybe more, involved with the city, through the years we saw a lot of people breaking the law. We saw a lot of people. I'm going to give you an example. The 22 windows. What happened? This is one case. The 22 windows. What happened?
Yeah, I don't know.
So who committed the crime? Who did it? Nobody knows. So that's why a lot of people think that they can do it and they're going to get away with it.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
but be careful. But be careful is when you involve federal, when you involve IRS.
Yeah.
I think I'm more afraid of IRS than I'm afraid of FBI.
Yeah. No, you're right. You're probably right.
I think IRS can get me in jail faster than the FBI.
Yeah. Well, I mean, any of them. You got to do the right thing. So, you know what I mean.
Exactly.
But it's
exactly.
We got to see. Yeah. Well, this is probably for another day. But I mean, we got to have justice for all, and unfortunately, we're not seeing justice for all sometimes. And that's not right. So
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, with this case, John, I think it's still a lot to discover, because she just brought up, because remember, she has to talk. They want to know what she has to say and what she knows. So this, in top of all the cases that Jasiel has, now came this case that somebody paid $7,500 to have a pipe, whatever, in front of their house fixed or whatever.
Yeah.
The city paid for the pipe. The city paid for everything, and he pocketed the $7,500.
Yeah. No, I know. It's
so that's another thing that nobody knew about, and Jen Andrade has a lot of that information, to give to them. What's not going to help Jasiel. I just hope that I don't know. I mean, to me, if I was Jasiel, I would not have hang on for that long.
Well, Carlos, there's a lot of things that are going to be going on, right? The attorney the district attorney up there, the federal district attorney, I think it's Lehman. He's going to probably be gone. You know what I mean? When Trump leaves, what do? They went all over Trump for doing this, but they all do it. They get rid of every U.S. attorney across the country, and they put their own people in. So who's to say that if he leaves, that the next administration picks someone and says, like, really, what's this whole thing here? This is crazy. Like, why am I making a big deal about it? And they just really don't look at the notes from before. You never know. And I think I had read that somewhere too, that it could happen, or you know what, maybe not. You just never know what's going to happen. But it is interesting what may happen.
Well, one thing that I heard this week about this investigations was the Republicans saying, well, now that the Joe Biden's son is getting investigated, he should not change the people that are investigating because they already know what they're doing and this. But Trump changed everybody that was been investigating people,
Well, that was
and so the other administration before him and the other administration before him. So why are we going to blame now Biden for changing the
no,
people
no,
are
no.
investigating?
No, I'm not blaming him on this. The U.S. attorneys are switched. The things, like this guy Durham that works for the FBI, that's a special counsel. So that's got to go through, like what they did to Trump, the special counsel for the Russian collusion. That's got to go through. But I'm talking about they're going to assign their own U.S. attorneys. They may have different opinions on things. It happens every time folks get in. They get a different opinion. You know what I mean? They may look and say, "Look, this poor young guy." Blah blah blah. You never know. So it's up for speculation.
Yeah.
So, but anyway. So on a national.
So what happened? Let me
Good.
go ahead.
So on a national level, what do you think about the congressman from California that was basically involved with a Chinese spy for years and years, and actually had the Chinese spy had a person working in his office, in his congressional office, and the FBI notified him after years and years of going out with them. I think it's called a honey pot or a honey something that they call it, and it was never told to anybody but the Democrats. Isn't that interesting? Doesn't that sound like Chinese collusion? Doesn't it sound like Chinese collusion?
Well, I don't know. Let's start another investigation.
Well, I think we need to. Right? Because we heard everything about Russia, and now China. We have people that they know that have dealt with the Chinese. It's interesting too. When Google this, the U.S. the secretaries of state that handle the elections, there's numerous pictures of them with Chinese officials across the country. Why would the Secretary of State be with Chinese officials? Why?
I don't know, but here, what's interesting is this lady. Why we not going after her? She's gone. She's the spy. You're talking about the spy?
Yeah, the spy.
Yeah, the spy is gone. The spy is back in China.
Okay.
So why we not going to go after her?
Well, why was everybody going after Trump for 4 years when there was nothing there?
No, I want us to go after her because she's the one that came here to spy and went into these people's lives. She knew what she was doing. Okay,
but he was a willing participant. Carlos Swalwell went out with her, and he refuses to say whether he fooled around with her as well. So you're compromised, and you're on the. Yeah, he was a senator, I guess.
Yeah.
He's on the Intelligence Committee.
Yes.
Like nobody that you don't even hear. CNN, MSNBC, Fox did it a little bit. This is something that should be out here. But for 4 years, all we heard was Russian. Trump's a Russian agent. He's compromised. Here we have someone that we know was compromised, and there's nothing said about it. It's simply amazing. Simply amazing.
Well, no, because if you turn Fox News, that's the only thing they talk about.
They've started.
That's their thing now.
Yes, they started a little bit, but if you listen to NBC, MSNBC, CBS, ABC, CNN, not one word. But if that was can you imagine if that was one of Trump's kids doing that, or a Republican senator or a congressman, what would happen?
Well,
especially someone that would back Trump. Can you imagine what would happen? CNN probably have the Prime Minister of China here interviewing him and saying, "Really?" Blah, blah, blah.
You know something? This is. I don't know. This is getting worse and worse and worse. Everything that we see different, we want to investigate. if I don't like you, I want to investigate you.
Well, that's what but the precedent was set over the last 4 years, Carlos. They tried to impeach a president that spoke to someone in a foreign country to congratulate him. And he said, we know that there's some information in your country. Help us investigate it. And they were like, oh my God, this is the most worst thing in the world, on and on and on. And there are questions there. Didn't we just hear Hunter Biden is under investigation for getting $400,000 from Burisma and the Ukraine, and he didn't claim it? Isn't that interesting? The IRS, why didn't that come out before the election? Because if that was Trump or if that was any other Republican, a conservative, that would have been on the news nonstop. So we can't have a two-tier system here. And that's what
why that thing came before? Because Barr. I think he was the only one that actually knew about this.
But Carlos, wasn't Barr portrayed as being the president's personal attorney? Isn't that what they said? All they did on CNN and all these places talk crap about him. He's the president's attorney. He needs to be brought up on treason. And all of a sudden,
so what happened? What happened to him?
What happened to him? I believe what happened to him is he knows he's going to leave in a month. Why stay? Why stay? For what reason? There's no reason to stay.
You don't think that Trump is behind him leaving?
No, I don't think I think he's done. This guy came on. This is why what I don't understand about Barr, how they were after Barr. He didn't need this job. He works for DOD. He was retired. He came out of retirement to do this. And all he got was nonsense from these people. Nonsense. And it's just, I'm hoping over the next 4 years that things are going to get better. But you know what you're going to hear? But the vice president-elect spoke yesterday for 15 minutes, coughed halfway through the presentation. His wife came out and got him to escort him off. Not one question did he take. Now, when Trump has a press conference, or his lady McEnally has a press conference, she'll answer 7 or 8 questions. And if she doesn't continue, they say all these nasty things going on the way out to her. So we can't have it. Let's see how the media treats this over the next 4 years. It's going to be quiet, like church mice.
Yeah, and you know why?
Why?
Number one, Trump didn't answer questions sometimes because his people don't want him to answer questions, because he contradicts everything that he spoke out of the paper. When he talks off the cup, that's it. He contradicts everything that he just said on that speech. Okay, so that his people don't want him to take questions. And number two, why the media is going to be soft with Biden? Yeah. Because Biden's not going to call them by name. Biden's not going to call them, something, you belong to CNN, you are fake news, you're not even supposed to be in here. So I don't think that Biden's going to treat Fox News the way Trump treated CNN.
Carlos, he's already doing it. There's a kid on there, Ducey, a young kid, blonde-haired kid. He answers the question, and he's already like, I knew you'd ask me that. I knew that'd be coming from you. Under the Obama administration, Fox never got questions answered. That was brought up numerous times. So let's see how this goes. But, we're going to see. We're going to see. This president was a lot more transparent. Biden doesn't answer questions. Kamala Harris, as soon as they're done with the press conference, they walk out. Or if they have a press conference, they're questions that were given to them before, and the media gives him softballs. Do you think, have they ever asked the president, what kind of ice cream do you like? That's what they asked Biden during these things. So come on here. You got to call a spade a spade. These are softballs.
Maybe because they don't want to hear the answer that Trump has to say.
I'm sorry. We'll see. We'll see how it happens over the next 4 years.
If you don't want to hear a bad answer, you don't make the question.
Oh no, they don't want to give any. I don't know. We'll see. In 6 months, let's see how the difference is here. You know what I mean?
It's going to be another 4. It's going to be another 4 years. I mean, everybody's going to survive. Nobody's going to die. Everybody think that was going to die during Trump. Everybody survived. I mean, the ones that then died from corona. But all the other people, survived, and we will survive this 4 years.
Yeah. Well, it's amazingly quiet though since the election's over, huh? Prior to the election, we had riots all over.
Oh,
It's surprisingly quiet, isn't it?
John, is this elections really done already? I don't think so.
Well, we'll see. Who knows?
Do we have? Let me ask you this: do we have a president elected?
Do we? Well, there's still a lot of investigations going on. So
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. People don't want to admit that we already had elections and we have a president elected. Period.
Well,
now, if it was elected, if it was corruption, whatever, yes, let's talk about that. But let's answer the question first. Yes, we have a president elected, but maybe something was wrong with the election. I'm happy.
Correct. Yeah. I mean, Carlos, I'm looking at common sense things. Okay. So common sense wise, we just look at a mayoral run. So if you ran for mayor and say, I don't know, Coogan ran for mayor, but we never saw you anywhere out there. Never. You were never out there. But Coogan was out there at all the different things. That's number one. There are just different things that make common sense. But like you said, we'll see. We'll see what happens.
Yeah. Well, since that you talk about mayor and mayoral elections, do you know that one candidate already announced that he's running for mayor?
We could have.
What do you think?
Mayor Burns, huh?
Yeah, we could.
Yeah.
We never know. We could. We can. Maybe. I mean, it's like if you don't play, you don't win.
Oh yeah. I mean,
that's why I say I never win. I will never win because I never play.
I
but
don't know.
Still too early. I predict about 7 candidates the next year.
Who else do you think? Who else do you think?
Well, I can predict that Joshua Silva that runs against Will and what's the name? God, from the DA's office. He runs against the DA's office.
Oh.
Well, never mind. I cannot get the name now. Yeah. But Erica Scott Pacheco probably will run again. Linda Pereira, probably she will run again.
I don't think so. Why
no?
I wouldn't think so. I don't know. Who knows? I'm not
even. Hey, who knows?
Will may, but I don't know why. He probably makes more money doing what he's doing now.
You have to be crazy to run anyway.
Why would you do this under this environment? You know what I mean? Like Coogan came in and you have the worst pandemic in 100 years. So you know what I mean? Why would you want that? So I don't know. I mean, I don't mean to be negative, but do I think anything will really change? Most likely not.
Yeah.
It's changed in the last 30 years, right? I mean, we've had a few good things happen here. We got Starbucks now. We got all these.
City council meeting, it should be starting at any minute.
Oh, okay.
And on the agenda, it's more money to pay.
Oh.
They're asking for more money. They're asking for raises again. We're not that broke then. We're not that broke.
Well, I mean, I don't think in this kind of environment we're in right now, I don't think raises are accounted for, considering, people's property tax really went up last year, a big amount. You know what I mean? So,
give it another 2 years. Give it another 2 years. You're going to see when Durfee comes on the books.
Well, I mean, that's a story for another day. I mean, we were kind of bamboozled into that.
John, I see you next week.
Yep.
We have a showing, and next week at the same time. Very good. Thank you, John.
Thanks, Carlos. Have a good day.
Have a good day.